be united, to encourage each other, to succeed, and to celebrate together.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to World Travelers Flight, together with past International President Balraj Arunasalam, distinguished Toastmaster. This is Jasmine Smith, your crew sergeant at arms. Our destination is Pakistan. Our journey will take about 2 hours and 35 minutes. For all attendees, please put on your seatbelt and enjoy the flight. Please be advised that we will record this journey for our memorabilia and can be used for marketing purposes. So please turn on your camera if you're okay and put on your sweet smile along the journey. Our journey is to make sure that we follow the mission of a Toastmasters Club, which is to provide a mutual, supportive, and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop their communication skills and leadership skills. Course, which in turn will foster self-confidence and personal growth. I am so excited. We are so excited to meet with our friends in Pakistan, to have a better friendship and learn from each other. Thank you, Karachi Toastmasters Club, for allowing us to visit your club. I will now invite our president. She's an accountant and a foodie, I was told. A very dedicated leader who has served in various roles. Please help me to make welcome the president of Karachi Toastmasters Club, Hiba Raiz Khan. Let us welcome her to the virtual lectern. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters, what a pleasure to welcome you all for the joint meeting between World Travelers Toastmasters Club and Karachi Toastmasters Club. Being the president of Karachi Toastmasters Club, I'm fascinated with the idea that we as two clubs are covering a physical distance of about 4,734 kilometers on the world map. I'm also conscious of the fact that Toastmasters sitting in Singapore are 3 hours ahead of us sitting in Karachi. The meeting in real sense has confined us in a distance and different time zones, but the excitement of being together is more important and liberating to bridge the distance. In digital sense, we are just a click away with zoom in and zoom out, and that is our new world. It is also my pleasure to emphasize our togetherness with DTM Balraj Arunasalam, our past international president. I have not yet visited Singapore, but I'm very familiar with the famous Singaporean chicken rice that is equally popular in Pakistan. Another thing that brings us together is our love for crabs. Your black pepper mud crab and chili flower crabs from Sembawang Jetty look quintessential to me for crabbing as a hobby that we also love to do near the Arabian Sea in Karachi. So there's so much to share as I look forward to the unfolding of today's engaging agenda, and along with the interesting keynote on the new skills in the new world. With the remarks, I would like to welcome you once again to the meeting around the world in around the world in 80 minutes. How online meeting bridge distances. I now invite DTM Phoebe, the Toastmaster of the evening, to take charge of the meeting today. Over to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you so much, President Iba, for that warm welcome to all the world travelers who belong to 18 countries. Would you believe that we are now celebrating our second year of World Travelers Toastmasters Club, having traveled to various countries? This evening, we are so honored to have with us our various leaders from past district directors, as already mentioned by our current president, Eliza. She has already called on our officers who belong to various districts. And tonight, it is my privilege to be the Toastmaster of the evening. Can you imagine traveling around the world in 80 minutes? Tonight is an opportunity for us to just experience that. And each one of us brings something unique to our meeting that will make our meeting exciting, rejuvenating, and will give us some kind of refreshment as we get to know each other better and as we get to know the country better. Karachi, Pakistan, thank you so much for welcoming us to your country. It is indeed a privilege for us to be able to join you and appreciate your country being our host or our host for this evening's meeting. It is indeed a privilege for me to be able to facilitate our meeting, and most of all, for us to be able to see that we have role takers in our midst. We have Jasmine Smith, who will be our timer. And do you need to show us the time for our meeting? I mean, the callers. Jasmine, or we proceed to our...
Thank you.
Yes, Jasmine, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I will be your timer today. We have prepared speeches, we have evaluators. For our prepared speeches, we have 5 to 7 minute speeches. At 5 minutes, I will be showing the green. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will be showing the red. For our evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes, we have 2 minutes on the green, 2.5 on the yellow, and at 3 minutes, I will be showing you the red. For our table topics, you'll have 1 to 2 minutes to to share your mini speech. At 1 minute, I will show the green. 1.5 minutes, I will be showing the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I will be showing the red. All other speakers are encouraged to speak within the time that is allotted on the agenda. Remember, time is very important. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms and timer at the same time, our Toastmaster, Jasmine. Thank you very much for giving us guidance in terms of the use of our time. We would like to thank our President, Hiba, for welcoming us tonight, but most of all, for our Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster, Talha Hamid, who will bring us around Pakistan. Guess what, my friends? I have 2 good friends who are distinguished in their own field in nursing in Pakistan. And I'm just so glad that tonight I have this opportunity to meet more friends in Pakistan and to see Pakistan through the eyes of our distinguished Toastmaster, Talha Hamid. take it away, Talha Hamid. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. This will be a journey through Pakistan through my lens, because these photos are all taken by me. So I won't be using stock footage. I won't be using anything downloaded from the internet. So starting from where we are on the world map, we are right next to India, and we are the only country that is classified as part of the subcontinent as well as part of the Middle East, because to our west, we have Iran and Afghanistan. To our north, we have Russia. And to our east, we have India. And to our northeast, we have China. To our immediate south, we have Arabian Sea. As you can see, we are very close to the Arabian Peninsula as well. In fact, we are one of the major world cities. Karachi is one of the few major world cities that is closest to all the 7 United Arab Emirates. Moving on, this is what Pakistan's map looks like, and we'll start our journey from the north. Starting from the very north, just give me a second. Can we pause for a few seconds for this prayer hall? It's very loud. Okay, we start from the very north. Sorry.
Are you okay, distinguished Toastmaster?
Thank you so much for putting up with that. Finally, we have a degree of silence. So Pakistan is the only place in the very north in Gilgit where 3 largest and highest mountain ranges of the world meet. That is the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush. These 3 converge at this point near Gilgit. And this is one of the most famous peaks in the world, Nanga Parbat. It is the 9th highest mountain in the world, but in terms of the victims it has claimed, it is the worst. We have the beautiful northwestern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and it is a magical land of mountains, rivers, and meadows. We are moving southwest, and we are going to Islamabad, where it is one of the world's most beautiful capitals. It was built in the 60s, and it is one of the few planned capitals of the world. Next, we move on to Lahore, and we need hours to really see what Lahore is. It is the cultural capital of Pakistan. It has a rich history. It has a history with Mughals, with earlier kingdoms. It is a convergence of ancient civilizations from the Middle East from India and from the Far East. We move southward to Multan. Multan is another major city. It is essentially at the border of the Cholistan Desert, but it is the spiritual nucleus of Pakistan because many religious mystics have their shrines here. Next, we move on southward to Sakkar, and Sakkar is its own historical importance, but also because it is the vanguard of the river Indus. This is the world famous Sakkar Barrage, and it controls the flow of the river Indus into southern Pakistan. Next, we move to my hometown, Quetta. It is a century-old city. It is nestled in the north of Balochistan province. It dates back from 1,000 years back. It is surrounded by mountains. We move southward in the same province, Gwadar. It is one of the newest ports of the world, and it is unlike any other because, as you see, the swath of land extends well into the sea, and on both sides, we have the ocean, the Arabian Sea. And there are very few places like this in the world. Next, we move east to Karachi, the hometown of Karachi Toastmasters Club. It is Pakistan's largest city. It is one of the world's largest cities. It is the cultural, economic hub of Pakistan. It has all the localities of Pakistan living in it, and that is why people call it mini Pakistan. But no mention of Pakistan is complete without its food. And here we'll cover just a tiny sliver of the foods of Pakistan. Starting from the top, you will see the Pakistani mithai or sweetmeats. Yes, our cuisine derives a lot from Indian, Far Eastern, Middle Eastern, and Western cuisine. It's a beautiful potpourri. So our mithai, while very close in texture and taste to the original Indian mithai, has its own unique variations. Our national drink is tea, from the country of our past international president, Balraj, of course. Pakistani's national drink is tea. On the left, you see the triangular things called samosas. Now, there are disputes about the origin of this dish, but there is no denying that this is one of the most popular snacks in Pakistan. Next to it, we have kadhai, and it has its own variation in any area of Pakistan. It can be black, it can be pepper, it can be tomato-based, it can be yogurt-based. You get the idea. Next, we have what is undoubtedly the national dish of Pakistan. It is biryani. And again, biryani has 1,000 variations. But there's no denying that if there is any one dish that can be eaten by anyone, anywhere, anytime in Pakistan, that is biryani. Lower left, we have Sikh kebab, and Sikh kebab is just the tip of the iceberg of the barbecue that we derive from Middle East and Turkey. So there are kebabs and all sorts of other delicacies that the Mughals brought to the subcontinent, and we have made our own. We have golgappe and other savory snacks that are a direct relative of South Indian cuisine, and they are as popular as anything in Pakistan. And finally, we have the incomparable faluda. Now, if I were to describe what faluda is, I wouldn't be able to, but I'll make an attempt. It is an unholy alliance of milk and ice cream and nuts and jellies and a lot of other stuff. So, but it tastes like nothing else on the planet. So with that, I bring this tour of Pakistan to a close. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hand the charge back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Talha Hamid, for making us hungry at this point in time, and would like to thank you for sharing with us the food as if we are tasting it. Thank you very much for giving us that eagerness to visit your country, not only virtually, but in reality. We would like to recognize the presence of our two past international directors. It is our honor and privilege to welcome you in our midst, past international director, Balraj Arunasalam, our keynote speaker for this evening. And we also have our past international director, past international president, sorry for that, Jan Lau. Give them a big, big hand. We would like to thank you so much for giving us an honor with your presence this evening. Now we proceed to the next session of public speaking, training ourselves to be public speakers. That's the very reason why we are in Toastmasters. And this evening, we are privileged to have with us two speakers who will deliver their speeches. And we have one who will discuss his pathway on motivational strategies in line with understanding emotional intelligence level 3. And the purpose of the speech is to cultivate an understanding of how her emotions impact relationships. It is also designed to help the member identify how other emotions impact his or her emotional state. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience, journaling emotions or being aware of emotions when interacting with others. It is our privilege indeed to have with us our speaker who will discuss this, and she is going to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. Rabia Shishan, speech title is it 2023? Rabia Shihan, is it 2023? Take it away.
Thank you so much. I would like to confirm the timer for today. Can I have a show of hands so that I know I can
Yes.
pin the video?
Jasmine, please.
I can, okay, thanks. I'll just pin your video. Thank you so much.
No, no.
Spend for every wait.
Rabia is muted.
You're muted.
I'm so sorry. I started off. Is it 2023? Today, I'm going to show you the world in 2023. Can anyone of you guess these amazing cities and these amazing buildings and how far we have traveled as human beings to build buildings like these? Any guesses, people? Someone?
Sydney and Toronto,
Sydney Opera.
Yes. Here's some
Singapore,
more.
Singapore and
Yes.
Dubai.
Yes.
This is Mecca. No. Malaysia.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is this 2023 still, or have I shared some wrong picture with you? This are the pictures from 8th May 2023. These are from a village in Ramzanpur, which is located only a 10 minutes drive from the city Jacobabad in Sindh province of Pakistan. Do you think these people still live like this because of poverty or because they don't have any resources? Wondering why they are living like this? Effects of global warming. You all know what causes global warming. I do not need to go in details. The pollution, the manufacturing, the deforestation, and everything. Most of the people know what global warming is and what are the effects. But why is this fact known to all of you? That Pakistan contributes less than 1% of the global greenhouse gases that warm our planet. But its geography makes it extremely vulnerable to climate change. In Pakistan, as you just saw in DTM Talha's presentation, we have a wide variety of climate as well, from north to the south region. It is located in a globe which causes high temperatures and heat wave, extreme heat wave, which starts in March and April, May, and other, which is the monsoon rains. Secondly, most of the population of Pakistan lives near the Indus River. And you all must know, because even our kids in school are studying it, the more the heat, the more the water will evaporate, and the more it will rain, and it will cause a greater damage. When the temperature of the globe rises, it rains more. And where will it rain more? Where we have more water bodies. But what makes Pakistan so special that it's getting the worst kind of climate changes? Pakistan has more glacier ice than anywhere outside the polar regions. So much so that it is called the third pole, North Pole, South Pole, and the third pole is Pakistan. Because the amount of ice that we have on our mountain ranges that some of you just saw in the presentation. So when the temperature of the world rises, this water becomes floods for our country. And this is what happened last year. You must be getting really difficult, pink, light pink, dark pink. Let me make it easier for you. This is what we faced last year. It was a catastrophe. More than 1/3 of our entire country was underwater, submerged like this. Why am I telling you all this? Again, you must have read it in the newspaper, in the news and everything. Because I got a chance to meet these people and to interact with them. And believe me, it was a great test for me, for my emotional intelligence, how to respond to the queries of these people who have lost their everything, their houses, their animals, their fields. Most of the people in Pakistan they earn through when they work in the rice fields, in the cotton fields, where they grow crops. And a vast majority of our land has been destroyed by the floods and the rains that we had last year. I'm still feeling those emotions right now. I had to control my facial expressions while walking into their houses. I had to control how I talk to them. I couldn't cry in front of them. It was 45 degrees Celsius. I couldn't drink water after every 5 minutes in front of them because they did not have any cold water and only I was having them in my car. And these people were full of hope. Do you know what these two little girls you can see on the screen came to me and asked me? Baji, when can we go to school? Because the school in their area has been destroyed by the water. And at that time, I had to control my emotions. And I had to react in a way that they felt good about themselves and they did not give hope. Because if I didn't control my emotions at that time, they would have gotten more hopeless than they already are. These people are surviving in the dire of circumstances. And we as human beings need to empathize with them because they are not the ones who caused the global warming. It was the rest of the entire world and the big companies and the big countries who are responsible for the climate change and the increase in temperature throughout the globe. So my learning of empathy, of controlling my emotions, how to react to their emotions. They were asking me, will you build our houses for us? So I had to take care. I had to listen to them. they were like, wherever I was going throughout the village, they were following me. And believe me, many of these children did not have slippers in their feet. And it was so hot. I was feeling the heat inside my slippers as well, inside my shoes as well. So it was a great test for me to control my emotions and how to react. But Alhamdulillah, I tried to give them the best of hopes. And I hope that all of you will also be able to empathize, whether you see them or not, or even by seeing these pictures which I have shared. Because in the end, this is what we get in return. The smile of these children, they were full of hope, the eyes, the twinkle, in the sparkle in their eyes. I hope that you'll all realize it is indeed 2023, but maybe different for these people than it is for us. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rabina, for touching our hearts with what you have presented. You have shown us how Pakistan has been devastated, affected by the climate change, and how the people have suffered. And thank you so much for sharing with us the empathy that you have shown and the emotions that goes with it. It is really touching. Thank you very much for that. Some of us who may want to give feedback may just write a private note to our Toastmaster Rabia. We now move on to another speech by no other than our distinguished Toastmaster, Faraj, who will be sharing with us his speech, his contest speech. And it is our privilege to listen to him on his contest speech, Faraj Farouk, Distinguished Toastmaster, and the speech title, Exactly the Same. Distinguished Toastmaster Faraj Farouk, Exactly the Same.
My wife and I were walking along the banks of the great river Nile one. The sun was shining at us. A cool, calm, and comforting breeze blew across our face. The sound of the river's water crashing into the banks was strangely relaxing. The bright sun, the soothing breeze, and the crashing waves made my mind wander. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking about this great river. It starts its life at its source. North. It rushes down the highlands, picking up speed, water, and silt. Reaches the plains, goes down, meanders along the path, divides itself at its delta, and flows into the sea. I asked my wife, Niro, what do you think about the life cycles of the other great rivers of the world? To which she told me, for us, they are exactly the same. Friends, I spent my childhood in Saudi Arabia. And after some time, when I reached my mid-teens, my parents wanted me to get back to Sri Lanka and literally reconnect with my roots. I was, of course, looking forward to moving back to Sri Lanka. I wanted to get to know the country, the people, and maybe, hey, try to understand what is the meaning of cricket. When I got to Sri Lanka, I was lost. I didn't know the country, I didn't know the people, I didn't know any of my relatives. And to make things worse, the only thing that I learned about cricket was that it was the name of an insect. In my area, there were this bunch of ruffians. Each time I passed their house, they used to make some comments in the local language and laugh at. Now, one thing was clear. They obviously did not like me, and the feeling was mutual. I too did not like them. But there was one way that I could get back to them. That was only if I learned the local language and gave back to them in style. So that's exactly what I did. I started looking at the local language, and strangely, it seemed similar to what I already know. Back in Saudi Arabia, I had actually attended an Indian school and I was familiar with the Hindi language. And when I looked at the Sinhala language, the scripts look different because they use different script, but structurally and phonetically, they were exactly the same. But friends, I must tell you, I made sure that when I was starting to learn this language, I got the foundations strong. I learned all the bad words first. Armed with this armory of great vocabulary, I marched up to my neighborhood nasties and I gave them a belly full of the most eloquent Sinhala words. Some of them they have not even heard. They were shocked. I was impressed with myself. Now that I had got this important business done, I got about living my life. A few years later, my grandmother fell gravely ill. She needed urgent surgery, and along with surgery, there was a need for blood donors. We looked for blood donors high and low, far and wide. One day when I walked into the hospital and I looked at the blood donors list, something strange and surprising was seen. I saw 3 names that were of the 3 neighborhood nasties. Yes, the people who I didn't like and they didn't like me, they had turned up to donate blood. I was shocked. When I collected myself, I walked up to one of them and I said, hey, listen, bro, I thought we were not on good terms and you have actually come to help me out. And this gentleman told me an amazing thing. He said, brother, we may have different skin, but if you cut through our hands, open it and take a look inside, you will see that we are all exactly the same. These 3 nasties had turned up to donate blood that was flowing in their veins to my grandmother, but at the same time, they donated a big dose of humanity to me from head to toe. Friends, you see, back at that river, I had asked my wife one more question. I said, Niro, what do you think about the life cycles of human beings? And she told me, it's exactly the same as the great rivers. What do you mean? Please explain. And explain she did, my dear friend. She said, we start our lives in the wombs of our mothers small. We rush through our formative years, picking up education, friends and habits. We reach the prime of our lives, slow down and go on our selected paths. We reach our delta and divide ourselves into race, language, nationality, and creed. But ultimately, we flow into the sea of humanity. Friends, John F. Kennedy has said, what unites us far exceeds what divides us. Over the past few years, all of us have been fighting one enemy, the coronavirus. This virus did not distinguish between any of its victims. If this virus thought all of us are exactly the same, why cannot we? Friends, do not let skin, status, situation divide us. Do not let our origins or our background divide us. Do not let race, language, nationality, and creed divide us. Because deep down inside, all of us are exactly the same. Madam Toastmaster.
Let's give a big hand to our distinguished Toastmaster, Faraz Farouk. Thank you so much for reminding us to treat each one the same, just as we are the same in the eyes of our Creator who created us exactly the same. And many times we are confronted with the challenge of treating people differently, but then we experience coronavirus where we were treated equally. Thank you for reminding us that. May I call on our timer, Jasmine?
Thank you. Our opening remarks by the Toastmaster today, 4 minutes and 2 seconds. The tour of Pakistan was done in 7 minutes and 17 seconds. Speakers, Toastmaster Rabia, 7 minutes and 23 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Faraz, 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms Jasmine, and our timer for giving us the value of time and being able to manage our time. This evening, we are very much honored to have with us our past international presidents who will deliver to us a keynote speech to inspire us in our daily walk or in our Toastmasters journey. Past international president Balraj Arunasalam said, "Toastmasters is a way of life. It helped me understand the philosophy of leadership, to give and receive respect, and to be humble. To be humble is the secret of being a Toastmaster." And just like any one of us, our dedicated Toastmaster for 28 years is a member of 4 clubs, including the first club in South Asia, the Colombo Toastmasters Club, and became the one and only past chairman of the Territorial Council of South Asia, Sri Lanka chapter, and the one and only Sri Lankan Toastmaster to be honored with a presidential citation. As a district governor of District 82 in 2009, he was presented the President Distinguished District Award for leading the district to #1 position in the Toastmasters world globally. He served as a club officer in Colombo Toastmasters Club for 12 years, and on the 13th year, he became the president of the Colombo Toastmasters Club. That shows his immense patience and sheer determination. His journey with Toastmasters didn't stop there. He has been a leader and mentor to so many individuals who hold high ranks in many sectors, both in the corporate and nonprofits outside the Toastmasters world. When we talk about his leadership and mentoring, we cannot forget the contribution he has given to produce the first Asian and Sri Lankan world champion of public speaking, 2014-2015 in Toastmaster Dhananjaya Hitirachi. He is a gentleman who walks the talk. He is a successful entrepreneur and the first South Asian to hold an international officer position on the board of Toastmasters International. As a president-elect of Toastmasters International, he works in the strategic direction of the organization. We must be proud that a Sri Lankan will take over the helm of Toastmasters International as international president in August 2017 in Vancouver, Canada. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, may I give you our past international president, Balraj Arunasalam, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words of introduction, baby. And World Travelers Toastmasters Club and the Karachi Toastmasters Club members of these two clubs, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts this evening at the World Travelers meeting. So far, I have enjoyed the meeting and I have seen the tour of Pakistan and also heard what the World Travelers have done so far. I also wish to thank the president of the World Travelers Toastmasters Club, Eliza, who has been consistent and trying for a couple of months to some or other get me to speak here. And so she gave me no chance to say no, because whenever I'm inclined to say no, she'll tell me, you give me your date and we will see, we'll fit in that time. So you have no escape route. And thank you for giving me that opportunity, Eliza. And I'm pleased to have our past international president, John Lau, who was my great mentor and a friend and an advisor before I came into this journey of international office. I still can't forget the conversations that I have had with him to learn the art of international leadership. Is one great resource this organization has had. And some of you I have seen and met with are also in this audience. Thank you for being here. I'm aware that all of you are very passionate Toastmasters. You're already in 7 clubs. You're already in 5 clubs and a few clubs, most of you. And I see my current president, club that I belong to, Farhaz, who has been such a passionate Toastmaster. I've met him in Bahrain, I've met him in the Middle East, and there is no, better passionate Toastmaster I can see. And you saw him speak today, and thank you for being here. I joined Toastmasters in 1989. So next year, I'll be 35 years in Toastmasters. I did not join Toastmasters to lead or speak. I joined Toastmasters only because of the evening meeting and the free food that they had at a 5-star hotel then. At 5:30 in the evening, who wants to speak? Enjoy. And we were the first South Asia's first club. So we had all the eminent people in the club who had the gift of the gab and credentials of high standards. So I enjoyed their speeches and their friends ridiculing them through their evaluations. Sort of 5 to 7 minutes evaluation, a 5 to 7 minute speech at a 7 to 14 minutes evaluation. So you can imagine how analytical it could be, how in-depth it could be. So that was my starting journey. And I never dreamt that Sri Lanka will move up to have a couple of clubs or even form a territorial council with India and then move on to be a district. To me, what mattered when I joined my home club in 1999, you might think that I'm going to speak about new skills in the new world. And what is that today? To me, every Toastmaster who joins for the first time in a club, he goes through this new. Can you hear me? All right. So new skills. So every Toastmaster member who joins a new club for the first time, to him, it's new skills, learning new skills in the new world that he has joined. And that world, to me, is Toastmasters. Because if I hadn't joined Toastmasters, I'm not sure whether I would have learned all the skills that I possess today. And if many of my friends who didn't know, and members who joined Toastmasters, I'm not sure whether they will hone the skills that they possess today. At 19 years, tender age, a troubled kid joined a club in the Marine Auditorium called Smedley Toastmasters Club. And he came to me and his father brought him to me and said, make a man out of this boy. Right? Ultimately, can you imagine he became the world champion of public speaking after an 11-year journey. To him, Toastmasters was a place to learn new skills in the new world of his. This to me is an interesting part and an interesting journey of a Toastmasters membership. If you take the organization itself, which I have analyzed so far, in depth because of my journey in leadership, in 2004, we got away with the CC manual, or CTM manual for that matter, Competent Toastmaster Manual. And then some of the Toastmasters here definitely know what I'm talking about. And we went on to the CC manual and the CL manual, because we believe that we also are producing leaders now. And then we had a vision at that time. What was that vision? To make oral communication a worldwide reality. Then we realized we did not have sufficient material to create leaders. And then we moved on to, in this journey, to create a program where we will have leadership material. And without knowing where it would take us, we did not give a name to it, but then we did some research and then came up with it. And we named it ultimately Pathways. It took us almost 5 years to do that. I had the greatest privilege of being there with that program and being part of that creation from scratch to launch. And it was launched in the year 2017-18. So what does all this mean? What it all means to me is that Toastmasters for the last 99 years have been an evolving organization and an evolving program. Can you imagine that we stopped shipping paper and we tried to bring in an online and offline program called Pathways much before the pandemic hit us? We really don't know why we did that, but we knew that will help us. So, and what are we trying to solve here? What we are trying to solve here is the same old question of I want to speak better. It's 99 years old, but I'm sure you will agree with me that it is relevant and it is current even today. I want to speak better. I want to lead better. In this, when we are trying to do this, is when we realize that we changed our tagline to Toastmasters where leaders are made. So we have evolved and we have changed our program. We have created a platform that is of immense value. And when all these things were going on is when the disastrous pandemic hit us in 2019. And in 2019, when the COVID-19 hit us, I'm sure the whole world was not sure of tomorrow. We were closed for 52 days and we were isolated inside our homes. But can you imagine within that 52 days, I'm not sure whether the corporate companies did, but the Toastmasters program got into the online platform and started having meetings because we had the material already. So to me, that was the new skills in the new world. We were ready to face the challenges and we started the program. And then in 2020, the whole world changed. And there was a new world because the way we lived changed, the way we worked changed, the way we eat changed, because we closed our kitchens and Uber became the biggest kitchen of the world. and where we lived and where we dressed changed. Right? Because we didn't need any more, we only needed a jacket, and no matter what the color of the trouser was, because we wore the jacket on top of our pajama. Right? So that was the world that we had to fight with and we have to live with. The way we learned changed. Can you imagine a world that offered graduate, postgraduate degrees from the Ivy League colleges of the world online? Did we imagine a world of that nature? And what did they teach us? And what did they promoted is the new skills in the new world. Now, when we just go on to look at all these things, technology has had its pluses, but it has also had its immense setbacks. Right? Technology made us very weak in our mathematics, because to get to know what 45 and 55 would be, if you add, you needed a calculator. We couldn't say 100, right? And we lost all our memory skills. A couple of months ago, I asked, what's your wife's telephone number? He said, I forgot the phone in the car. So I asked, so if you forget the phone in the car, what has that got to do with your wife's telephone number? He said, I don't remember. Does your wife remember you? Only when I get home. So you can see how the world has changed, how the technology also has put us some setbacks. So that goes to say that we have to continue to learn, and learning is a lifelong journey. In that endeavor, I can't imagine a program better than the Toastmasters world, because in our work setting, in our home setting, we can't really do what we do in a Toastmasters club. Right? If you want to if you want to practice your speech at home, people say you have nothing else to do but to practice speeches every day. Right? But a Toastmasters club is a welcoming place to practice each and every time you want to practice. So in these circumstances, how you go to see what new skills we need to learn to face the new world. We have lost the writing skills. Today, AI has taken it over. ChatGPT is writing our speeches and writing our reports. So in a place like that, in an era like that, how do we keep continuing to write? How do we write reports that relates and that resonates to the reader's heart? How do we have lost our critical thinking skills. And to develop critical thinking skills, there is no better place than Toastmasters. In fact, evaluation of a speech, if we learned in the right sense, it is critical thinking skills. Because to me, the most that I have learned, or most numbers that I have come across in evaluating a speech or evaluating a contest speech or a project speech, is 34 aspects of speaking. These are things that I have learned in bits and pieces that I put it together. And can you imagine? You have 34 different ways and 34 different pointers to evaluate a 7.5 minute speech. That triggers your critical thinking skills. So to do all the, how do you increase or develop your analytical skills? How do we improve our planning skills? How do we improve our strategic thinking skills? How do we improve or develop our decision-making skills? How to solve problems in difficult situations? So all these are part of the Toastmasters program, and I'm if you dig into the program, you will see that we could learn all these things, or if we have learned before, we can refresh, or we can keep it intact. And if it has eroded, bring it back. And that's why, to me, Toastmasters is a way of life, and Toastmasters membership is lifelong. I've met with Charlie Keane of District 18, probably in 2005 convention, when he was 101 years old. Had no walking stick. And it was on his birthday that the convention curtain raiser opened. And the MC came and said, we'd like to recognize the presence of Charlie Keane, who is celebrating his 101st birthday here. I was looking for the whole hall, and Charlie Keane got up from the first row and bowed and sat down. Can you imagine, at the age of 98, he was district governor for the second time around. That's why I believe there is no end to learning. And if you have the will, and if you have the skills intact, you can face any world, and you can face at any time in your life, no matter whether you're 18 years of age or 100 years of age. So all of us in this room at this meeting have a long way to go when we think of our Toastmasters journey. If we can do this and meet these new skills in the new world, I'm sure we will learn. There are stories, because the stories that there are thousands of stories that we can talk about ourselves and others in the Toastmasters world. And there are skills that we can share with our members yet to join us. And there are skills that we can keep polishing every day in our life. And for that, we have to provide a platform. And that platform, to me, is a club, because it is at the club everything happens. A Toastmasters International president is made and molded in a club, not in a district. A world champion of public speaking start at the club level, move up to be the champion at the end. So club is the most important aspect of the Toastmasters program. Members of the Travelers Toastmasters Club, my message to you is that you are all the things that we do in your online club here need to have, or I recommend an offline presence where you can have the opportunity to meet with, because nothing can be replaced by face-to-face communication. We still need people, because we're losing our relationship skills. Right? About a couple of days ago, Elisa called me, and when I called her back, it was 1:30 in the morning for her. 1:30 a.m. I said, what are you doing? He said, no, I came to meet one of the World Travelers Toastmasters Club members who came from Japan, and she wanted to meet me, and I had no choice but to go to Singapore, and I'm getting back from Singapore to Johor, KL, or Malaysia. That's why I am awake at this time. You can call me again, right? So what does that prove? Face-to-face communication is still needed, still important to create that bond and relationship. While we want to hone all the skills to face the new world and all the new skills that we need, right? We have to, owing to time, I will not go into relating examples, but all the skills that I mentioned are skills that we have to learn in the new possible way, because we're tackling a society that is new. My niece, Aditya, was interviewed she was working at Walmart, and then she wanted to move company, and then she was interviewed and handpicked by Google. One of her demands to Google was that you I can't come to office. I will only work from you. If you're interested, you can hire me. And she got hired. So she goes probably once or twice in 3 months to office, right? So the world has changed. In a time like this, there is no better program than Toastmasters to keep the relationships, the human values and the human connections. Because you go to a restaurant today, the restaurant is full. No matter whether you have economic crisis, if you come to Sri Lanka, yes, we have had the worst economic crisis in history. Even during those times when we went to a restaurant, no seat, and the people who came to visit this country got confused. Is this country really going through hard times? Or when I see this, I don't see anything hard here. That's only because people who had new skills had to face the new world, and they couldn't be frustrated inside their work desk, inside their homes. They need to meet. So that is why I encourage, while we learn new skills to face the new world, make Toastmasters your way of life, because Toastmasters gives you the hope to live and hope for human connections and hope to build you as leaders and then change your life, because Toastmasters keep changing lives every single day in the world. Toastmasters change my life is one of the cliches that we hear all the time. How do we retain that? We have to retain our membership, encourage our members, because Toastmasters change lives. Thank you. Back to you.
Let's give a big, big hand, a round of applause to our past international president, Balraj Arunasalam. Thank you very much for giving us the challenge. I know for a fact that meeting each other face-to-face is so different than meeting on virtual reality, but world travelers can have virtual reality for us to be able to continue our meetings and our fellowship. We just had our District 75 convention face-to-face, and you could see the warmth in the ballroom. And during the final result of the international speech contest, you could feel the jubilation, banners up there, and everyone was so happy. And that was the difference that we could see between virtual reality and the face-to-face in-person meetings. Well, soon we will be able to take the balance of meeting virtually and meeting in person. Thank you very much for the inspiration of the new skills in the new world. Now, as Toastmasters, we are ready for some challenges. I believe so. Our speaker has just said that Toastmaster is a lifestyle. And tonight we will be facing some changes because some of us have some important things to attend, and we may have to make changes in our program. Before we go into table topics, we will go into our general evaluation as agreed upon by the core committee in the planning for tonight's meeting. Again, I would like to say that we will go ahead with that general evaluation before our table topics. But above all, we will have our photo taken with our past international presidents, Balraj and John. So may we request everyone to open your video if you want yourselves to be part of the photo to be taken tonight or this morning to some of you. Hey, beautiful. It's so good to see all of your smiles. And who is the one taking a photo? I better do it.
Okay, everyone, please on your camera. Okay, smile.
Smile.
Okay, one more. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay, second page. Smile. Wait. I bring our president to the second page so everyone also can get the picture with him. Okay, smile. Janet, on your camera. Okay, done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So when do we entertain questions, President Eliza, after the table topics, or can we give some time for our past international president to answer some questions?
We will do after the tea break.
After.
Yeah, tea party. After the party.
After the tea party, we will have an open forum with our past international president after the tea party. But tonight, may I call on our general evaluator to do the proceedings in our general evaluation. We have our general evaluator. General evaluator.
It's Toastmaster Hiba.
Toastmaster Hiba. Hiba Rice Can. Thank you. Thank you for taking this time to do our general evaluation.
You're welcome. Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, general evaluation is an important part of any Toastmasters session, without which a session is incomplete. General evaluation helps us to become a better speaker as one receives feedback. The first speaker we had today was TM Rabia Dishan. So I call upon her evaluator, TM Kim. So TM Kim, the virtual stage is yours for evaluation.
TM Hiba, I think somebody could be replacing me for the evaluation because I wasn't able to make it here earlier. So I did not hear the speech. Lisa, who is replacing me for this evaluation? So sorry, I was late. I couldn't make it earlier. So I did not hear his speech.
Oh, let's go to direct to Tamami.
Eliza, want me to do? Or Tamami? Tamami can do also, yeah.
Okay.
We have who
Open
just now-
evaluation.
Yeah. So I will just spotlight all the 4 evaluator. Tamami, can you on your camera, please? Tamami, Arni. Tamami. Sorry, I forget who is the 2 from the Pakistan Toastmaster. Okay, it's going to be Urusa Kanwal and Muhammad Askar.
Actually, Urusa Kanwal is not in the meeting. Maybe you can pin DTM Samir and Muhammad Askar.
Where is she? Muhammad Ashraf. Okay. Okay, can start. Toastmaster Askar, you're mute.
She's saying that you're mute.
Kinsumi, we can't hear you clearly.
I'm sorry, I think there is an issue with connection. Is it better now?
No, it's the same.
No. Boy. Let me try the headphones if they work.
Is the connection, is the voice better now? Is it all right?
Yes.
Thank you. You would like me to start the table topics now, correct? I thought that we were doing the evaluation first and then the table topics.
Yes.
I evaluated my speech.
No.
Okay, I think this is the evaluator for the speaker of Toastmaster Rabia. So maybe can give a commention and recommendation. Toastmaster Ani, Toastmaster Tamami, Toastmaster Asgar, and Toastmaster Hiba. Toastmaster Ani, can you start first?
Toastmaster Eliza. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but wasn't I for Toastmaster Faraz as a commentator? I was to replace PM Imran.
Yeah, can you help me to spot him because I don't know your member.
Actually, I think actually, as per the agenda, I would request originally Toastmaster Urusa was one of the commentators, so I would request you to replace DTM Samir with for the commendation in place of Toastmaster Urusa, and Toastmaster Hiba is for the next.
Okay, so who will be giving the evaluation then? Toastmaster Talha.
Sorry, this is for Toastmaster Rabia, right? So Toastmaster Asgar will be the, sorry. It was supposed to be Kim Low. So
Okay, let's do it with whatever we have now, rather than we just waste our time. Yep. So Toastmaster Ani, you can start.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eliza.
For timer, we are going for 1 minute for each person. Thank you.
I have 1 minute, all right?
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elisa. Thank you, Toastmaster Rabi. It was a wonderful speech you shared with us, and it was a heartbreaking one for me. The story you brought. My two humble recommendation for you in this project, you need to make a minimum 2 weeks journal about your emotional response, so you can add in your presentation the timeline. You mentioned the picture. Is it really in 2023? And then you saw the picture and you said that it was taken in 8th of May. And then you can, on the next slide, you can add the progress, what date and what happened and how your emotion affect you and other people, and why it is important to control the emotion and how you react with, because you need to meet them and it impact you, and how do you handle that. And the second one is, you said the share screen, maybe you can try to stop it after now and then, and when you said that I need to meet them and interact with them, and then you then stop the share screen and you explain what happened, because when the picture were there, I kept my attention to the picture rather than you. And what if you stop the share screen and I can focus more to you and listen more to your story. Thank you. That's my recommendation. Looking forward for your next speech. Back to you. Toastmaster, Madam Table Topic. Madam General Evaluator.
We can go direct to Toastmaster Asgar to give the recommendation or commendation.
Okay, please, Toastmaster Asgar.
Yes, I think yes, and
this is otherwise a wonderful, I mean, speech touched what she rightly called the heartbreaking, and it's provocative. I mean, but my recommendation would be is to, you could have come with a story and then explain your subject, number one. Number two, you could have come with a picture or a slide which merely supplement of what you are saying, rather than describing the picture. In certain occasion, I found you speaking about the picture, describing the supplementing the slides, and come up with a story to explain then the vulnerability and the overall the situation of the subject. I think would have create more effectiveness in your speech. That is what I have got to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asghar. And now last for Tamami.
Yes. Thank you, Rabia, for your wonderful speech. I was very inspired by your speech and your story. I think you had a good construction, always with question, giving a strong, starting with a good, strong question to the audience, and then explanation, and then also in the between your speech, you again question to the audience to catch the audience to think along with you. I think you had a good clarity and comfort level. And also you had a good delivery in keeping us with your story. And I also think what you could have improved might be to explain your story. Maybe next challenge would be without your presentation, because the audience would be too looking more to the presentation and then to listen to your story. So maybe next time I look forward to your speech without your presentation, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamami. And now let's go for the second set of our evaluation. Sorry, General Evaluator. This is a turbulence in our flight, so we need to reach Pakistan and departure at the right time. So I handle for a little bit for the piloting for this session only. So let's call for our second set of evaluators to evaluate Toastmaster Farhas, DTM Swarna. One moment. We are also have
I think DTM Imran was also replaced.
Replaced too?
I
Okay, great.
I think
And
he
also
was,
the other one is
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
TM
Twyla, where are you?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Okay, done.
I was very impressed by our speaker today, who gave us a very eloquent story. He talked about walking along the river with his wife, and I could almost feel the ambience of the walk with his very, very descriptive words. We journeyed along in the present, and then he gave us glimpses of the past, a window into the school where he worked and how he learned the languages, and how dealing with the kids in the neighborhood, the languages were the same if you just checked it out. Then we went through the story a little further. We returned to questioning his wife again. And she says that the river that they spoke of first is the same as the river of life. He repeated the phrase again, it's exactly the same. He made his point by quoting that often, it's exactly the same. He gave us such descriptive words that I definitely heard his message that the sea of humanity is exactly the same when we reach the ocean. Thank you for that very eloquent message this morning or this evening. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Twyla. Toastmaster Asghar, the control is yours.
Thank you. I'm responsible to evaluate Farhaz Farooq, and this is the first time I saw you speaking, and I am a Toastmaster for 4 years, but a very slow learner. And because of the absence of role model, I think today I got that role model. What I like most is the way you utilized all tricks of the trade to capture the interest and our attention by using what the previous evaluator called through your specific and actionable words, your descriptive and adjective language, shining sun, cool and comfort weather, the sound of river crashing waves, create music of the sentence. And you also deployed storytelling method from our everyday experience, your grandmother story, and the way you deployed the humor. You learned the bad words first. Same happened with me, but I'm still using bad words in my mother tongue because I'm more comfortable in that. The one thing I should have recommend is that your stage crafting is excellent, but the increasing movement sometimes was compromising the volume of your speech, and I exert more extra pressure on my mind to comprehend of what you are saying. That is end from my side. Over to you.
It's my turn, I think, for the commendation, if I'm correct. Okay. DTM Faraz, what I liked about your speech, that you were quite expressive during your speech, especially you had good hand and body gestures. And the second one, you had good eye contact during your speech, and I found you constantly looking at the camera. You had good confidence and clarity during the time you spoke, and I could detect no signs of hesitation. And the last one, what I liked about your speech was that you gave examples from your own personal life, which, we could relate, which we could understand a bit about you. So it gave us a brief introduction about yourself as a person. So that is about. Over to you. I guess general evaluator, that's me.
So I think now it's the recommendations from me and Swarna. So, okay, I get to go first, and it's lucky for me because there's precious little to recommend. And I'm stealing Swarna's points here. So yeah, sue me. DTM Farooq, I think it was an absolutely inspiring speech. If I would make one recommendation, it would be that you said the phrase friends a lot during this speech. That took away some of the speech-like quality and made it more like a talk. And I believe that it was not needed at all at many points. Perhaps it is your catchphrase. It is something that you lean on, but it was not needed. So maybe if you could just control that tendency to say friends every 2 or 3 sentences, that would have been amazing. Over to you, DTM Swarna.
Thank you so much. Farhaz, this is your district contest speech, I assume, right? And keeping that in mind, I have 2 recommendations for you. While you have great wordplay, I want you to focus on your body language. When you said high and low, I did not see it sync with your movement. You need to make sure when you say far and wide, I need to see your movement go along with those words. Second recommendation, you had conversations in your speech. Nero, I would love to hear Nero's voice in your voice. I would have loved to hear your friend's nasty boy's voice in your voice. That would bring your speech from good to great. All the best. Over to you.
Okay, now I would like to hand charge to the table topics master, if I'm correct, DTM Aliza. So DTM Samir, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Heba. Can you hear me properly? because I believe the last time there was an issue. All right, fantastic, fantastic. And I would also request all of you to kindly turn your cameras on if you want me to call upon you as such. Okay, let's go first with Toastmaster Mora. Am I correct? Toastmaster Mora? Toastmaster Mora, your favorite place for traveling. Your favorite place for traveling, Toastmaster Mora.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. I love your question. When I was little child and adolescent, I used to travel a lot. And I just realized that you learn culture, language, different type of food. But to answer your question, the place that I still remember, it was when I was in Mexico, because the people were very friendly. You can eat everything, and it was open everywhere for 24 hours. I just speak 5 languages, so I have the opportunity also to speak Spanish. And people say that I look like Spanish, so what's easier for me? So what I love the most is that in this country that also you can speak English, so you can practice. And I must say that it gives me at that time the mentality that doesn't matter where you are, you're still the same person. You learn from everybody's. And I think that when you go to a place, different country, different mentality, different place, even to drive in the different sites, you know. So this is what I love this place, because the beaches are phenomenal. Like I got a nice color, as you see, I am very pale. But when I was there, I got a nice color and I was very fit and beautiful history. So I went once and I came back, but the next time was a little more expensive. So the place that I went was Cancun, which is situated in the south of Mexico. And I have also the opportunity to go to Havana in Cuba. So I did a little trip, you know, but to me, the most important thing when you are traveling is learning. If you don't learn anything, you are not doing the right thing. So my next is going to places that I don't speak the language. Back to you, Topic Master.
Thank you. The next topic will be given to Toastmaster Joseph Skoda. Tell me about your favorite travel souvenir. Tell me about your favorite travel souvenir, Toastmaster Joseph Skoda.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Table Topics Master. I travel. I just got back from Hawaii last week. But it's very interesting when you go to places that you don't know anything about. And one of my favorite travel destinations, it wasn't by a surprise, I went to Panama, Panama City, Panama. And it's a small peninsula, and you know the Atlantic Ocean is on one side and the Pacific on the ocean on the other side. And I believe it's only 14 miles wide at the shortest distance between them. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but I'm a scuba diver. And I was able to scuba dive in 2 different oceans on the very same day. I've got to travel through the country and see toucans, you know, with the colorful beaks and the colorful feathers, walking the streets. I'm able to see the monkeys come out of the trees and in the parks, and able to go to a couple beaches, and one was all black sand. First time I got to experience that. So yeah, I've traveled a lot of places in the Middle East, a lot of places in Asia, been in Mexico and Canada and almost every state in the United States. But when you go to some place you don't know anything about, I think that's when it's amazing, and the friendliness and the salsa dancing, and very interesting how Panama, at least when I went there, they use the American dollar as their currency. And that caught me by surprise. I drank some of the beers that we think is low end here in the United States, but it was high end over there. So just great to meet the different people, get out there in the culture and learn what society has to offer. Just like we did today when you guys were kind enough to show us Pakistan and what you have to offer. I had one of my best times ever. We went to Panama City, Panama. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Skoda. My next speaker will be Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi. Do you like to travel solo or do you like to travel in a group? Do you like to travel solo or do you like to travel in a group? Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry. I was in London when I received a phone call from one of my cousins who was in Edinburgh. And he said, "You are in London, come to Edinburgh, Scotland." And I said, "I'm short of funds and it's not possible to spend so much money." And he said, "Yeah, I understand. You can afford to come to England from Pakistan, but you cannot afford to come to Scotland from London." So I had no words to say. So I found a cheap flight that approximately costed me about £75 two-way ticket, London to Edinburgh. So I booked the ticket and I decided to go to the flight. I was all alone. It was possible for me because I was not in any group. I was not with family. I was on my own, one person. But what happened? They had a restriction that you had to check in online or at least reach there before 2 hours. I didn't reach there in time. So they asked me to pay $75 more because I didn't check in. And believe me, I had about $90 in my pocket. I paid $75 and when I landed in Edinburgh, I had only 15 pounds. I'm saying pounds. I had only 15 pounds in my pocket. If I was with group, maybe everybody would have money. But then I was all alone. I did not take any money from anybody, spend the time with the family, spent only $15 in collecting souvenirs from Edinburgh, and I came back. I am a solo flyer. I'm a solo traveler. I like to travel around the world all alone, see the world with my own eyes. If I had a group with me, both things would have been possible. Maybe I was unable to travel, or maybe I had friends who gave me money. I'm a solo traveler. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be DTM Kumar Klang. I hope I have the name proper.
Yes.
Thank you. Please describe the food of your home country. Please describe the food of your home country to DTM Kumar Klang.
Okay. Thank you, Table Topic Master. Before I go further, is TM Kumar from Kluang, Johor, Malaysia. Talking of food in my country. Well, my country is multiracial and with all kinds of people. We have the Chinese, we have the Indians, a variety of Indians from different states. We have the Malays, the local people, and even the Europeans. So talking of food in this country, we have a variety of food. But if you ask me to describe food, I can only go for one particular food, the Indian food. Being a vegetarian, a staunch vegetarian, I go for the Indian food or a Chinese vegetarian food. Most of the English food or European food will have eggs and cheese, which I don't take. So I have no choice my food is restricted and I enjoy what I eat. That's the most important part of it. But for anyone who comes to this country, they will enjoy the variety of different type of food cooked in a different way for different purposes. That is what I talk about food in this country. But if you ask me to describe the other food, I wouldn't be able to do so because I don't go near it, I don't eat it, and I don't handle it. Back to you, Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you. Our next speaker, let's go
Sorry,
for
Samir, this is going to be the last speaker because we
Okay.
ran out of time. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. So the last speaker is Toastmaster Ram Halai.
No, the last one is the last one.
No, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the time
Yeah.
is finished. Oh, sorry.
Yes, time
Sorry.
finished. Thank
Done,
you.
done, done. Thank you.
We return to our GE to give the general evaluator.
Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, overall, it was quite an interesting meeting with people connecting from different cultures and countries. The meeting flowed smoothly without any technical glitches. However, before deciding upon the role holders, we should at least confirm their availability so it doesn't become a problem in the end. Other than that, everything was spot on. Over to the Toastmaster of the evening, DTM Phoebe.
Thank you very much for a special evening of evaluation. We had a different way of evaluating this time with one speaker and 3 evaluators giving their recommendation. It could have been an evaluation in terms of audio, visual, delivery, and all that. But maybe next time when everybody's available and able to give their feedback, it may smoothen the flow of the program. Would like to thank our President Eliza for taking hold of the program in terms of evaluation. We would like to congratulate everyone's participation this evening in the evaluation and the table topics. And now we would like to call our President, Eliza. She has been garnering various awards. Our president has been an area director of the year and has been the Toastmaster of the year in District 980. We give back the control to our President, Eliza.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you very much. This is the last. We arrive our destination safe and sound. Thank you very much to all our friends and from World Travelers, and especially to our friends in Karachi, and not to forget to mention our past international president Balraj Arunasalam. I already tell all my friends since about 2 years ago, when I love to watch the conference that always happen in YouTube, because I never been to one, but every time I like to watch the recording or the YouTube. I love the way when they call it that past international president, International President Balraj Arunasalam. So his name is always playing in my mind. How come this name is like very nice to say? But unfortunately, it's very hard to find him and very hard to get him. Until one day I challenged our member Farhas. Let's go to Sri Lanka and find him. And he told me like, Sri Lanka have a lot of so many things. But I'm very happy that with our strength in World Travelers, with all our friends, and thank you to make my dream come true. Finally, I meet the last of the president that I really want to meet, even not in a person. I hope one day, sir, if you come to Singapore, I really want to see you. So everybody also will, all the people that actually met you in Singapore cannot say that, hey, I met him and you haven't. So no, I will make them jealous now. And to all my friends in Pakistan, especially Karachi Toastmaster Club, thank you very much for accepting and just, I know that the condition now in Pakistan, all the internet, everything is having a lot of problem, but all of you just jump and everybody just get ready. And sorry for the turbulence that I need to create to accommodate my district director-elect that she's already been so sleepy because he got a meeting from the morning until now. And I just also need to make sure that our flight is safe, landed to Pakistan safe and sound. So with that, thank you very much to always supporting the world travelers and also Toastmaster around the world. And to you, our past international president Balraj, thank you very much for accommodating and joining our meeting. And I believe that everyone is actually waiting for you at the lobby now for some snacks and also to ask you so many things. But before that, let me give you some appreciation from world travelers that we only give to all the people that come to world travelers. Give me a moment. Can see my share screen?
Not yet.
See? Where's my, okay. Okay, let's take a picture with our president. Spotlight, spotlight. Toastmaster Hina, where are you? I need to take a picture of the president of Karachi. Where are you? Toastmaster Hiba, can you make some noise?
Hiba is here. Hiba, can you turn on your screen, please?
Yes, I have turned on my camera.
She's there. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All the president need to take picture first, yeah. Sorry, Farhas, can you help me? I don't know how to.
You want to take a picture? I can take a picture.
No, I haven't. I need to spotlight everyone.
There are three of you now in this.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to take a photo, the three of you and the certificate.
Okay then, thank you.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, done.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much again, sir. You really make my dream come true. And now I announce the meeting adjourned. Everyone, if you want to have a question and answer with our past international president, if you have a time to have a chit chat with us, please.
Thank you so much. I will take everyone's leave because in about 10 minutes, I have to start another meeting of another club, another joint meeting with a club in Saudi of one of my other clubs. So, but sir, it was a complete and utter honor to meet you, PIP Balraj, and to listen to you. He speaks very highly of you, and through him, we know you very well. So thank you so much for your inspiring words today. I'm blown by the fact that we have so many past district directors and past leaders. It was a thorough honor to meet each and every one of you. And of course, it's always great to see DTM Farhaz and listen to him. So it's such a small world in Toastmasters. We keep running into each other and we love it each and every time. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll take your leave and.
Thank you, DTM Farhaz. Thanks for your feedback.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any answer to our past international president? I think I have a lot.
You throw the first question.
Yeah. So Ram, I know that you are going to ask somebody to our past international president. So please.
Sure. Feels like a table topic master at this point, but my question is, if there was one thing you can change from something that you've done in the past, what would that be? One thing that you do differently.
One thing that you could
Thank you, Norm. I will help you next time for the meeting.
Go on, Mr. Balraj.
One thing that we could change, or I could change.
That you can
now,
change.
Now, one thing that I could change now, if I was there, that the only thing that I can think of is to see how to improve the value proposition of every Toastmasters member.